Hi class, welcome to my tutorial. Today we have a topic that is carbohydrate. Carbohydrate, what carbohydrate mean actually? Carbohydrate is polyhydroxy either. It's going to be ketone or it's ketone or aldehyde. The two functional group have a very awesome here. So polyhydroxy either ketone or aldehyde. Most books have been written they are carbohydrate of carbon, so this is question mark. Rare carbon, no. They are polyhydroxy either ketone or aldehyde. What should be the functional group? K2, that is CO double bond. When we put CO double bond with H, then become aldehyde. So obviously we can write these things in this fashion. That is going to be aldehyde and that is ketone actually. This is very important. So book have also written 2:1. This is again question mark. Because suppose C2H4O2 that is called ethonic acid. The ratio 2:1 is not going to be applicable. Ethonic acid is what? Another example, C6H12O6. This is called pyranose. Again, here the 2:1 are not going to be applicable. Or you may also mention 1:1 ratio. Then it's okay. For example, there is. Then it's okay. That ratio could be here. That's going to be right. Otherwise, that is not going to be awesome. So our body love carbon. Carbon have a unique chemistry. Wow, what the chemistry of carbon is. Then look at in the Perth group. Per electron are going to be needed to complete the shell is concerned. Our body love carbon, and this carbon are going to be burned in our body. They produce much more energy because we divide the food into on the basis of their function is concerned. Some part energy is concerned, carbohydrate among those, along with the fats, and some have a role like structure and function just as protein is concerned. Some have a role which have, for example, they're not going to synthesize your body. That is called vitamins. Anyhow, they are called fuel of the body. So the carbohydrate is called fuel of the body. So we should classify the carbohydrate in this fashion, that is classification of the carbohydrate. They are going to be mentioned in the three-way: monosaccharide, disaccharide, and polysaccharide. What does saccharide is going to be used? That means sugar. Whenever you saccharide come in your way, that's mean they are going to be called what? Sugar. Disaccharide, 2 sugar. Poly, there's many sugar is concerned. So it's going to be very important in monosaccharide. In monosaccharide, we are just starting, that is from carbon 3 up to carbon 7. And then we put the name just like triose, pro, tetrose, pi, fetose, hexose, and heftose up to 7. But let me draw the structure of among those. It's very important structure like galactose. Galactose. You know what glucose is concerned? Glucose is very important. Because, for example, I'm going to draw the structure of glucose in the very awesome manner. That is going to be a very awesome manner. It's going to be 5. It's going to be 6. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me draw the structure. It's very important. Then again, H, OH, again OH. So count again: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's gonna be 6 here. That is glucose. That is normal. That is going to be an open chain. This is the open chain glucose. There's going to be alternative like H, alternative OH, alternative H, alternative H. So that is very important. While in the clothes, the ring form, we're going to also draw that formula in the ring form, which is called glycopyranose. These are not difficult, okay? You should have practiced these things anywhere home, because practice make a main perfect. In biochemistry, one of the important things which I urge to my students that you should have practice then you should do this with your own in home. With your own in home, that is, it's going to be the ring structure that is called glycopyranose. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, gonna be 6 here. And it's from here 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's very important. So the glucose is going to mention the other isomer form of glucose is galactose. Other isomer form is fructose. So glucose, fructose, and lactose. They are isomer. What? Isomer. So they are the isomer of each other. Let me explain the structure of a typical glucose. It's very important. They put the star like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. These four, this is you call them. They have a 4 asymmetric carbon. What? Asymmetric carbon. So almost 16 stereo isomer going to be. And they have 8 pair of what? Enantiomer. What? Enantiomer carbon I will explain. The asymmetric carbon, enantiomer carbon, or TR carbon. 4 other group are going to be attached. That is going to 4 other group. 1, 2, 3, and then it's going to be 4. So it's very important. This is going to be very, very important. So remember, in the monosaccharides, one of the important things which I will have mentioned about the monosaccharide. For example, we're talking about glucose is concerned. Glucose, the glucose, fructose, especially glucose is also called dextrose. Glucose have a very, very important role. The first carbohydrate, which is going to form in photosynthesis, for example, carbon dioxide, that is from here, and H2O, that is from root, and they are going to be make the Polysaccharides plus oxygen. And again, the balance that thing is, they are going to be reduced and they are going to be oxidized, and it make the thing like glucose. This is awesome. That's why plant is called business. They have a business. This is called business of green plant. What about this biochemistry of this thing is? This is anabolic process. Photosynthesis is also called inductive, endergonic, and anabolic process, because they make something which is awesome. That's why if photosynthesis, so life would be. So all the lipase C6H12O6, one can make their own foods. So they are called autotrophic, while animal can't, so they are called heterotrophic. So the first important thing for the life is if photosynthesis, so it's mean life is concerned. That's why if you glance on the historical background, the first life there was in water. There was in water, and then they were migrated into land. Wow, what a photosynthetic tendency that is, and there was, and that must be. So these things are very, very important. So let me explain the structure of closed chain life. For example, that is going to be the closed chain. This closed chain, I mentioned these are very, very important. Do practice in your own, and with your own, then you will get what the exact thing about that thing is. This is very important. That is, for example, that is glucose. If suppose, talking about the configuration, that is CH2OH. This is 1, and that is going to be carbon number 6. If carbon number 1 and carbon number 6 have a different configuration, that is going to be different configuration. This is called alpha glucose. What? Alpha glucose. Remember that thing is, if suppose they have the same configuration, if OH are here, H are here, then we trace with that to the carbon number 6 here, then it's called beta glucose. What? Beta glucose. Remember, one of the things which I'm going to mention here is alpha and beta form of glucose, D-glucose. They are going to produce, they are dissolved in water, they produce such a structure which is called amylase oxide structure. Student also asked the question like, sir, why D-glucose is common and L-glucose is not common? not common? Would the answer of that be? Because this should always ask such a question. Why glucose is common in our body and L-glucose is not common? Because they are going to be phosphorylated. What? They are going to be phosphorylated by hexokinase. Which one are going to be phosphorylated by hexokinases? That is T, of course. L are not going to form in our body, because they have no such enzyme. But the T have enzyme which are going to phosphorylate by hexokinases. While the L form, they are going to form in certain bacteria which is called pathogenic bacteria. What? Pathogenic bacteria. They are plant pathogenic, of course. That name is very, very somehow it's going to be very, very typical. Let me try by Carbohydrate rapili. Okay, Rapili, that is the name of that particular bacteria which have L type of glucose. As far as the normal is concerned, our body need glucose. What? Glucose. While, as for example, when they talk about bacteria use lactose per energy is concerned. That's very important. Okay, let me proceed the things and we'll let you know. So now we are going to mention disaccharide. Disaccharide means they have two saccharide unit, for example, from 2 up to 10. This is very important. What could be the example? Example is lactose. Lactose, everybody know about lactose. Another example is sucrose. Another example is maltose. Lactose they are going to found in where? What about lactose? The milk. Lactobacilli is going to remarkable role is going to be lactic acid. Okay, so what about their pump from the unit which is called glucose and lactose? They are pump from. While sucrose are going to pump from glucose. Fructose, glucose are going to be diffused in blood. Fructose goes to the liver. They are going to pursue because they have a low metabolic pathway. Glucose have high metabolic pathway, so they are easily metabolite. High metabolic fat very easily to be diffused in blood. Okay, so it's very important how these are going to be joined. So this is very, very important. Again, I have to mention the structure like that. There is OH, another one I have also in the same patient. We should write this thing. This is important. H2OH, again 6, CH2OH. Okay, here the OH, these two functional groups are very, very awesome. This is very, very important. What happens? O and H of this one, they're going to water, we're going to remove. This is process is called dehydration. What? Dehydration. Why they are called dehydration? Because the water molecule are going to be removed. So then you had to put this thing on the same patient. What? In the same patient. These are very, very important. You should have this thing in your mind. So this is called condensation. So, but the better name you should call dehydration. While here they have a bond that is called glycosidic bond. You should also write glycosidic linkage, what's going to be on here. So what about the maltose is concerned? Maltose, what about maltose? They're going to fruit. They are going to call in fruit. Do you know about fruit? Do you know about fruit is concerned? Maltose. Maltose is called from glucose and galactose. Maltose is called from fruit. And we eat the fruit, so they have fruit have a very important thing because fruit have a glucose as well as fructose being a fiber. They have also intensity, a certain type of enzyme, even mineral, even vitamin, of course, vitamin are there. Even certain protein are also found in the fruit. The fruit are very, very important, because they have a low glycemic index and they are awesome. They are just fruit. We also fruit along with vegetable. This thing I have to explain. These are for prebiotics. Prebiotics is being a fiber. They have a phenolic compound. What? Phenolic compound. Then there are antioxidants. What? Antioxidants. Wow, it's very, very important. Prebiotics are important as we compare to probiotics, which is useful bacteria. So I would explain these things in my lecture. I have to be promised with my student. Okay, let me proceed. The polysaccharide mean with many units joined together. They form a long chain. What about these chain is concerned? These have a very important role. Polysaccharides have a long chain. For example, I'm talking about starch. Talking about starch, plant have a starch. When we eat the starch, they're going to be converted into glucose, and that glucose is going to be available for your body to perform a remarkable function, because we have enzyme which work on that. That enzyme which work on that is called amylase. Of course, starches have two components. That's why it's been work on that thing. One is called amylase. The other is called amylase. So they both have a very important role. But what about these things is concerned? The starches have, for example, amylase. They are going to soluble in water. They have soluble tendency to water. They are not soluble in water. This structure is going to be somehow they are going to be branch, while the structure of amylase, they are going to be linear. What about the bond is concerned? They have alpha 1 pore linkages here. The same thing here. They have also 1 pore linkage, but when they reach to certain extent, for example up to 220 to 30 glucose, they are going to make a branch, and then that branch was called 1 alpha 1,6 glycosidic bond. They're going to form glycosidic bonds. Anyhow, so our body have enzyme which can break this bond as well as this bond, and they are going to be digested very in a small intestine. So starch have 100% glucose. What? 100% glucose. Remarkable. So what could be the example of starch? Is steam tube. When I'm talking about Solanum tuberosum, I'm talking about potato. This is awesome. They have food are going to be stored in the steam. They're called steam tubers. So they are going to be starches. Another thing which is called glycogen. Glycogen is obviously called. They're quite similar. They are quite similar, and their similarity is obviously very similar to amylase in structure. In structure they are quite similar to amylase, but how it's been different? Glycogen, they are more broad. That is going to be the marked thing. And glycogen in our body, they are called animal starches. They're going to store real liver, and another area that is muscle. So very, very important. Our bodies work on certain coordination. What sort of coordination we have? Suppose I'm give this better example to my student of homeostasis. When the student help get his breakfast, then it's been worked there, so they use their glucose, which has been stored in the form of glycogen. Another hormone on that time work, which is called glycogen. Glycogen is produced by alpha cell of pancreas, beta cell produce insulin. That time when you have forget your breakfast, glycogen convert into glucose, and they increase the blood glucose by you. Wow. Insulin are going to decrease the glucose level. Wow, this is very, very important. How is body work? Our body is working in close coordination, and there is certain signal they are going to produce, and that signal our body is work. Wow, this is one of the quickest coordination. Wow, this is awesome. This is remarkable. The last one, but not the least one, that is called cellulose. Cellulose, the plant bodies is obviously they are made of what? They are cellulose. Cellulose is actually they're non-living. What? Non-living. They are going to consider the abundance thing. Cellulose have a very, very important role. For example, just mentioned very good example. Enzyme which work on cellulose. That is cellulase. They've been digested because what sort of things cow being eaten, so they have we haven't such enzyme even to work. That's why we can't digest those things which has been almost have the products. Even they have the routine of cow, buffalo. They have tendency even because they have a gut have enzyme which can digest that thing. So very, very important. In a nutshell, the glucose have a very, very important role. Because if you have no glucose in your body, so the energy will be a problem. The another linked thing that is glycemic index. Glycemic index means to measure the certain food which affect on your blood glucose. That is called glycemic index. For example, I'm just mentioning sucrose glycemic index is 64, while fructose, there is monosaccharide, they have a 22, and glucose have a glycemic index which is 100. Why? Because it easily going to be diffused. They are not going to be easily diffused because the fructose, they are going to proceed in liver, while these things are going to directly diffuse into the blood. While in the case of sucrose, which is made from glucose and fructose, the glucose will proceed, they will go to the blood directly, while fructose, they are going to be proceed in the liver. Wow, this is awesome. For example, why we are going to recommend it protein, why we are going to recommend it fruits and vegetables for that regard, because they have a low glycemic index, and it's very important because they have antioxidant tendency. When we eat fruit and vegetable, they have antioxidant tendency, being a fiber, and they have phenolic compounds. I have promised that I would explain these things. That's why such a thing you call prebiotics. It's mean they are going to be the vegetables and fruit have prebiotics with that, because they have what? Phenolic compound, and they use antioxidant. Let me explain antioxidant. In our body, I'm talking about our body, their oxidation goes. But I don't deny that oxidation is bad, but they have a side effect. To one hand, they produce a lot of energy is concerned. For example, in mitochondria have enzyme. About their enzyme which is called cytochromoxidase. What? Cytochromoxidase. One hand they produce ATP is concerned, but they also produce oxidant, and so that oxidant have a problem. Okay, general way, when more oxygen in our body, this is called oxidation stress. More oxidation in your body, they will create a problem like degenerative illness. Degenerative illness means cardiovascular problem or disease, or even neurotransmitter disease. They are going to produce, even they disrupt the homeostasis. These oxygen, what should be the target of these oxygen? These oxygen have a target. They target what? They target the nucleus and nuclear membrane. So that's been a degenerative function is concerned. So obviously, why we fruit are going to be recommended, being a nutritionist, you need to be fruit because it is antioxidant they use, because these oxidation also promote another drastic things which is going to be one of the degenerative illness, that is called cancer. Cancer is of course because of free radical. Free radical mean those unpaired electron. Those unpaired electron which are looking for to be oxidized. So these are very, very dangerous. Anyhow, so what about this thing is concerned? So at least no food, no nutrient is bad. But what the bad thing is, too much of one and none of another. Or you may also call no one nutrient is bad. What bad is unbalance of nutrient, too much of one and don't of other, that create a problem. So we need to be a balanced diet. Anyhow, as per the energy is concerned, as the quickest source of energy for our body, that is first and last, that is glucose. Thanks for your attention.